on MSNBC this morning, they had an excellent little conversation with Lawrence O'Donnell and John Harwood, who called liberals crazy for wanting to turn down this lovely, lovely deal. And then you had Barnacle in there and Mika, of course. Scarborough wasn't there for some reason. I guess he's on vacation. Mika did actually a pretty decent job of moderating this one. I love to give credit where credit is due. But O'Donnell made the interesting points here. And the second one is even more interesting. But let's start first with pressure from the left and why that's so important. Let's go to clip number 1.
Is there, to John Harwood's point, is there a bigger pack of crybabies in political America today than the American left?
No.
Look,
well,
this bill, as bad as
answer
it is,
the question.
I don't name call in politics. Crybabies. That's not.
oh my God, you're so full of
this
BS.
bill that leaves out 25 million people would leave out many, many, many more were it not for the pressure coming from the American left, coming from the blogosphere, coming from this network. This bill would be profoundly weaker without an active, loud, and connected, electronically connected American left pushing it.
So, Lawrence, is it all tactical?
No follow-ups.
Yeah, no.
Right.
That's your rule, not mine. Is it tactical? Is this pressure, is this real, more vicious attack from the left than from the right about trying to counterbalance the attack from the right? Are you going to celebrate when the bill is passed?
I think Jane Hampshire, Fire Dog Lake, is a purist. I think Arianna Huffington is a purist. And I think their pressure comes from a purist policy position. And you don't do not want to live in a country where there is no one analyzing anything from a purist position.
And questioning and asking the questions. Harwood, respond.
Wait. First of all, I agree with what Lawrence just said. It is appropriate that anybody with strong feelings on this issue, left or right, speak out about it. My only point is that it is striking to me the absence of appreciation that people have for the magnitude of the step that's being taken that hasn't been taken before. And so you have Harry Reid, who gets beat up all the time. Oh, he's so bad on TV and he can't control his caucus, and why hasn't he done this and why hasn't he done that? He's about to get 60 votes for a bill that goes further toward the aims of Democratic liberals and the left on health care than has been achieved in this country in a very long time, like ever. And so I think that a fair-minded analysis says, hey, the guy's getting it done. Now, he's not totally getting it done because he's now got a conference with the House.
A fair-minded analysis would be he's getting some of it done, a small portion of it done, but certainly not universal health care, and certainly not Lawrence O'Donnell, what he set out to do. Fair?
Look.
All right, nice point by Mika at the end there. So now, look, first, of course, you have the great frustration of these, I hate to pull a Bill O'Reilly here, but these conventional wisdom pinheads in Washington, right? John Harwood and Barnacle, and they think they're so smart and savvy and veterans, and Barnacle calls them crybabies. How come the right wing's never called crybabies? How come when they were crying about death panels and making crap up and the birthers, et cetera, whatever, I mean, they might have been against it, those guys, right? But they never called them crybabies. They were like, oh, the right wing fights hard. Coburn, when he asked to read the whole bill, right? Now, why isn't that a crybaby maneuver? Oh, we need more time. No. Those are just strong right-wingers fighting hard. And then, this idea of Harwood is just, that's the central thing that drives me crazy, which is, look, he got it done. The question isn't whether you, quote-unquote, get it done. The question is, what did you get done? And then when they talk about mandates, it drives me crazy. Because I guess in their minds, they really think we're stupid. That they think that anyone who isn't on television is sitting with Cheetos in his basement and playing World of Warcraft and watching Lord of the Rings and looks up and goes, I'm against mandates. And then goes, no, we know what mandates do. We know why you need mandates. We know that, of course, you've got free riders if you don't have mandates, and that when you have everybody into the system, it lowers premiums. We're not children. Of course we know that. No, the question is, what kind of mandate? Do you mandate that I buy it from these companies, or can I get a choice? That's the question, John, and you never got that. You're like, oh, the ironic thing is you're the dummy, okay? Because you think, a mandate. Okay, I'm in. It got done. But how did it get done? How? What does it mean? Do I have choice? Do I not have choice? It's like saying, oh, well, we need a mandate for auto insurance, so you have to buy it, a $100,000 policy from whoever, right, from Progressive. Well, okay, I know why we need mandates, but why do we need a mandate that makes me buy a $100,000 insurance from Progressive? I don't need that. Look, I'm using an extreme example here, but it's not that extreme because they can raise the prices to whatever they like. I mean, imagine, again, I've done this before, but think about it. They say, all right, you know what? Everybody gets a luxury car. Okay, fantastic, great. Oh, but you're mandated to buy it. And you have to buy it from BMW, Mercedes, or Porsche. But wait a minute, I know why I need transportation. You don't have to explain to me. You know you can't get to work if you don't have transportation. Oh, really, genius of Washington? I didn't know that. But maybe I want to take a bus. Maybe I want to take a subway. Maybe I want to bike in. Maybe I want to walk in. Maybe I want to buy a car that isn't BMW or Porsche or Mercedes. Nope, it got done. It got done. Universal coverage. You all have luxury cars. Sometimes they're so dense, and then what's maddening is that how self-proud they are of how smart they think they are, and that everybody else doesn't get it. Oh, these crybaby liberals, etc. So now the good points that O'Donnell made there are, look, pressure from the left is very important. If you don't have pressure from the left, you only have pressure from the right, and that's the pressure you constantly cave into. Now, there are parts of O'Donnell that I totally disagreed with, though. He said this bill would be weaker if it wasn't from pressure from the left. Really? How could it be that much weaker? I don't think honestly, I look up, in this context, I view myself to be as part of the quote-unquote left here, as they would describe it. I don't know what we won. I mean, they'll say, oh, all these great things in the bill. Okay, but, your so-called universal coverage, et cetera, that was already in the bill. It's not like we won concessions. Now, you can say, hey, look, then the bill got started in a good place. Okay, you can make that argument, but it's not like, Feingold, as much as I like him, was like, that's it, we're going to fight on this, and we're going to win on this. On what? What did they win on? I don't see it. I think that they, and maybe there was a thing, and look, there are a couple of things here and there. You know what, here, I can give you one. Franken introduced this idea that they have to spend at least 80% of their premiums, if for groups, on actually healthcare, and can only take 20% for marketing profits, et cetera, right? So maybe that was a concession that the left got. Okay, not bad. I'll take that. But overall, a great majority of the concessions were to the right and not to the left. And then, one quick thing I should mention on Franken, correction from yesterday's show. Actually, that was, I said it was 80 and 85%. It turns out if you're an individual, it's actually 75% that they have to spend on health care from your premium, and 25% can go to overhead. So it's worse than I thought it was. Okay, but sometimes it winds up helping anyway. Okay, now, finally, he says, you know what, Jane Hampshire is a purist, and Arianna Huffington is a purist, and you need those purists. That's not entirely accurate either. I mean, look, they portray, I guess I'll put myself in that category again, because I think I roughly am in this case. They portray us as purists. I never had a problem that universal coverage didn't get done. I saw on another program, they said, it's 94% on the Senate side and 96% in the House side, and it's not 100% of Americans that are covered. Okay, I get it. I would love it to be 100%, but we're not purists. We understand that sometimes there are limitations, and it's hard to get that last 4% or 6% or whatever it might be, and those are where you can have compromises. Should the minimum loss ratio that we were talking about, I was just referring to, should it be 75 or 80? I don't know. Those are conversations you need to have, right? And we compromise on 100 different things. The only thing we're looking for is not to compromise on core principles within the bill, because then you're headed in the wrong direction. And then when we ask for that just very simple thing, they go, purists. Yeah, you want everything your way, purist. And I don't think O'Donnell means badly by it, or means any harm by it, but it's not right. All right, now, his second point I thought was better, honestly, and it was kind of said in passing, but I think it really needs to be focused on. Let's go to clip number 2 here.
If the bill is actually passed, will you and should liberals rejoice? Should people say, you know what, this is a great victory, or should they continue
I think liberals should be
it?
extremely worried, because I think this bill will give liberalism a very bad name because of the ridiculous overpromising that they've done for it, and because of every indicator showing that it will raise healthcare prices for everyone in the economy.
All right, look, that is enormously important. Because if it seems like liberals are like, woohoo, we won, this is awesome, this is the bill we wanted, then when there's problems with it, as we think there's going to be, then they'll say, well, I guess the liberals wanted it, and the conservatives didn't want it, so I guess the conservatives were right. That's what's going to happen. And that's why what O'Donnell is saying there is so important. And it's not a game. We're not putting on a show. We really don't like it, okay? And so now that has been a little bit more firmly entrenched. That's why what Howard Dean was so important, even if he doesn't win, and we don't get the public option or Medicare buy-in, at least now in American people's mind, there was like, oh yeah, remember some liberals didn't like it because it didn't go far enough, and then some conservatives didn't like it because they thought that it went too far, instead of, oh, liberals loved it and it was their bill, and oh, if it fails, then obviously then liberals were wrong. That's a disastrous case that you don't want to happen.